Alright, so we're getting in the middle of this job. I thought I'd just check my parts real quick, you know, because I've been sitting here and I didn't open the boxes or anything. And I knew DJ said to get the Moog ball joints, and I always recommend those too. But this is a pal football coach, and he is on a budget. He got his own parts, and that's what he brought. And I don't know where he got the parts. I think he got them at the Land Auto Parts, but I opened the rotors and got a little surprise. You never like to see this. Somebody's already packed this rotor with grease and put their thumbprint all over it and got it rusted. Got oil all soaking into the metal there. And doesn't appear like it's been on the car, but it's all, you know, rusted. And then the other one is properly packaged with a little ring there and the bag, and doesn't look like it's been on. So I think this one's good. One thing you want to check for when you're doing these, sometimes it'll have the ABS ring on the rotor and sometimes it won't, and you got to have that. That's your ABS brakes. So always look for the ring. If your rotor has the ring on it, those little notches are what the magnet here counts. And anytime you do the brake job or have the wheel off or the rotor, because you have to pull the caliper bracket off to expose this, you want to clean this magnet off because it gets little fuzzies on it from the brake pads, the metallic in the brake pads, and it can interfere with the signal to the anti-lock sensor. So I always like to clean those off. You got the tie rod separated, getting ready to separate the ball joints. I don't know what's going on with the French tickler there. I think you're supposed to take that off when you put it on. I'm not sure. But got a snap ring on the bottom. And I always like to leave the shock connected because even though this is a heavy vehicle and I have a jack under the control arm, when I release the tension off the upper control arm, it's going to release the spring, which is a pretty heavy duty spring. The jack should hold it and I should be able to lower it down and release the tension off. But if you leave the jack in there, or the shock, it acts as a safety. If you don't have a spring compressing tool, then you can just work your bolt off at the top and release the pressure. But leave the shock in there for your last movement there, and it'll let the control arm come down enough to unload the spring. You can take the shock loose at the top and then get the shock out of there. But it's a good safety. But yeah, that's what's going on here. So everything seems to turn over good. I got some ABS wires there that I disconnected. Got one that goes on top of the shock bolt, and then this clip that clips on the control arm there. So we have new arms for the top, and we have just the ball joint for the bottom, because the bushing, somebody's already replaced this. This isn't that old of a job. Somebody's already been in here, which is not good, because this used to last for a while. You know, you'd do a front end and somebody would get 100,000 miles to get out of it, but it doesn't seem to be the case anymore. The parts are just so crappy. Well, let me set this camera up. I'm gonna use the ball joint pickle fork there separator on this, get this going, and I just thought I'd turn that on and show you those parts. I'll probably get them to come pick that up and go get another new one. I mean, you paid for it, you know, you might as well get a new one. Something's wrong with that. I don't know what it is yet. I'm gonna check the grease cap, make sure it fits, and make sure the bearings fit. I find it funny with rotors. When I used to work for Scooter, anytime we changed the rotors, they would come with no races in them, and you would either take the race out of the rotor that you were replacing, or you'd replace the wheel bearings. But now these Chinese rotors come with the races already in them, and people just put the old bearing onto the new race 99% of the time. And these bearings don't look all that great. They need to be repacked, and they're a little dry. You can see the it's got a plastic cage on the outer there. I like the metal ones, especially for a heavy vehicle like this thing. But anyway, Ford's famous for that. Bad radiator caps and crappy suspension parts, but they seem to run forever. Alright guys, let me shut this off and break this loose. Hope it doesn't kill me. You guys have a good one.